Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron Ward, and on this channel we talk about all things Ethereum. We talk about projects, NFTs, play to earn, and price. And today, gosh, we got to talk about price, guys. Where are we at in the market, and what happened last night? And I want to talk about where the price could go for Ethereum, where the price could go for some of the other altcoins, why we're getting smashed on the Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and with that, let's get on into it. I'm going to jump into my screen here and let's talk about some stuff, guys. So I'm going to go over to TradingView first because we have to talk about price of a couple of things. And one of the things obviously is the ETH price, guys. We fell down from this 3,100 mark. We had a previous low of 29.29, and now we have gone as far as 27.27. Guys, I'm about to buy some more Ethereum, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, and this is just my opinion, guys. But gosh, we are at the bottom of the heaviest support we have got here. It's possible we may see some lower lows coming down, wicking down into this area of 23, or 2750, and I'm just waiting for us to hit 2750 again. I unfortunately did not get my money into Coinbase Pro fast enough, so I have to wait for it to clear before I can get it into it's in Coinbase right now, and I'm waiting for it to clear so I can actually put in a limit buy on Ethereum at 2750. But I do think if not at the end of the day today, possibly over the weekend, we could see even lower prices. Just wicks down, guys, because look at the trend exhaustion and currently from Trade Confident. And guys, if you don't have this indicator, it's because it's a paid indicator. You have to go over to Trade Confident. Shout out to Travis over there. He does an amazing job of telling you how to trade the market with his indicators. And guys, I've looked at indicators for the past 2 years on both stocks and crypto, and this is by far the best one I've seen yet. And it tracks the upticks and the down down drops of the crypto market in particular. It does work best on the 4-hour timeline. If you look at other timelines, it's not quite as accurate, but on the 4-hour, guys, it's constantly calling these drops down. So once we hit this candle here, we had a sideways movement, and then all of a sudden, anytime we get to this top red section, didn't even quite hit the top red section on this one, but hit here, and we saw just a downturn. We these big ones right here, we saw it happen before it even happened. So into the red section, came down a little bit into the red section, and then drops like a rock. Hit the bottom red section here, started heading up right about here. So these indicators are leading indicators. They're not lagging indicators like your EMAs and your MAs. So what you want to do is head over to Trade Confident, and then this is price versus whale money flow. This is helps to verify this essentially. So if the whale money flow is not quite as far down as the trend exhaustion, I tend to wait before I buy a little more, and that's why I'm currently waiting, guys. I do think we could have a little bit further down to go before we see a rebound here. So most often when we see recoveries, we get an uptick. Now we're just not getting an uptick in the price versus whale money flow. So no whale money flow is coming in. This green line here. It needs to start heading back up for me to be interested in purchasing at the moment. So we're waiting to see what happens there. Anyway, talk about a couple other things. Wanted to show you what I'm following, and this is another recommendation from Travis at Trade Confident rather, is checking out the Vanguard Growth ETF, this VUG ticker here. And this is what the traditional market is tracking, guys. So you definitely have the S&P 500, you have the NASDAQ, and you have the Dow Jones, right? Well, what I'm looking at, guys, is the Vanguard, which is the largest companies in the U.S., not based on their industry. So obviously NASDAQ is technology, Dow Jones is industrial, SPX is supposed to be a pretty good indicator of all things market, but it gives you small, medium, and large cap. VUG is basically all large cap, and this is why we are seeing just a fall off, absolute fall off from where we were at these all-time highs back in November and in mid-December as well, or late December even. But we have just been falling off a cliff like a waterfall, guys. So unfortunately, we are seeing that be the case with Bitcoin as well. Obviously, since that same time frame, we hit all-time highs back in November, and then have been just matriculating down since then. And with ETH as well, we've hit all-time highs back in November. Actually, yeah, back in November again. We saw a bounce in December, which is typical after a fall in BTC. If BTC drops off a cliff, guys, you typically see a little bit of a bounce in altcoins, and Ethereum in particular. We did see that bounce in Ethereum, and we have been going down since. So this same thing happened back in May here. I'll show you BTC. BTC hit its top back in May, maybe even June here. So yeah, April 14th, and then went back up May 10th to that was the dead count bounce, if you will, and then took off a cliff there. Well, ETH did the same thing, except for it was just a little bit later. So, and then it wasn't so much of a dead cat bounce. So it went up. So April 15th. This is the Bitcoin high, and then ETH just took off. Doubled, not quite doubled, but pretty quickly doubled in about just a couple days after. If it was April 10th or so is when we were right around $2,000. The last time we were around $2,000, and then we went up to 4,400 in very short order. So wanted to talk about why I think this is going on. I think the VUG is the telling indicator, guys. The large businesses right now in the world, and in the U.S. in particular, are just not certain about what's going to happen with the market, in particular with interest rates, and on top of that, we've got inflation heading out of control, and it has been out of control for at least the last 12 months, if not more, with the 30% of all circulating dollars have been created in the last couple years, guys. And so if you're just going to print money, you're going to have inflation, especially without interest rate rises. And in fact, the Fed did the opposite. They cut interest rates and printed money. Absolutely crazy. So, and on top of that, have been buying corporate debt and government debt for the last couple years to stimulate the economy. And that's why we have seen some amazing highs in the all-time highs of the Dow Jones and the S&P all happened earlier this year or late last year, because we were so propped up by the Federal Reserve and their stimulus packages, as well as all the money printing that we've been happening has kept businesses open, which is fantastic. I'm not criticizing that in particular, but it's time to tighten the belts, guys. And I know most of you out there were expecting ETH to do another double, and I'm sorry that has not happened yet. And we all thought it was going to happen by the end of the year. Gosh, I've been watching crypto YouTube since late 2020, and started this channel in August, and I thought for sure that we would be seeing, Bitcoin at 100,000 minimum, and ETH at nearing $10,000 by the end of 2021, and that just did not happen, guys. And I think it's because of all the just uncertainty that's going on in the market. And a lot of people expected inflation to really boost the price of Bitcoin. I think it did to an extent. I think it's why we had this second run up. Initially in 2021, a lot of people were calling that back in April was our essentially the top of the market, that we weren't going to see higher highs it was the top, right? So if we look back again, we had April 13th, 14th was the height of Bitcoin. A lot of people saying, including Richard Hart, the creator of Hex in the upcoming Pulse chain, was saying that this was the all-time high for Bitcoin of the 2020-2021 bull run. And he was incorrect, but I do think partially inflation and partially just the amount of availability to purchase assets cheap for or borrow money cheap, especially, is what shot us up to the second all-time high, and the current all-time high at $68,000 for Bitcoin. But guys, I want to talk about fundamentals as well, and why I'm still buying, guys. Sure, the price has dropped significantly from the last time I bought. I just want to be fully transparent with you. Was when ETH was at $4,000. It was coming down from from the all-time high at 4,800. I thought for sure we would see at least 5,600, 5,800, and I bought again around in this area of $4,000, and and have unfortunately after seeing some initial gains, have seen just a matriculation here. And so what have I lost since my last purchase? Well, I've lost 31%. Thankfully, it wasn't a ton. I think it was less than 25% of my total in Ethereum. Far less than 25%, actually. It's probably closer to 15 to 20%. But thankfully, guys, most of my purchases had been in the range of 2,000 was my some of my initial purchases back here in early. Yeah, I think even earlier than that. I think the first time I bought was actually when we hit near 2,000 for the first time, and then we dropped back down to like 1,400, and then came back up. Maybe bought a little more in this area, and then watched it climb all the way to 4,800 just to come all the way back down to 1,700 again. And guys, that was rough because I had purchased at 2,000, saw it double, and then was negative in my account for a short time. And a couple dips here, obviously it went positive and back negative. But then once we got into this neighborhood, I started buying again. I think I bought, let's see, I think I've actually bought down here was the last time, before this, second to last time was in this neighborhood here, and I think I bought around $2,800 here. And then this time I'm really hoping, we're coming in on my buy-in price that I really like to get in under. So this time I'm buying less than the second to last time. So really hoping to get some great deals on Ethereum right now, because guys, we still have the merge happening later this year, and that is going to be a triple halvening of the price, or of the supply, and of the not the supply necessarily, but the creation of Ethereum will be halved 3 times in that moment that we go into the merge, because we're going to a proof of stake instead of a proof of work network, and it's going to have less new blocks created per day, and so it's going to extremely make Ethereum so much less easy to grab, essentially, right? Well, you're not going to be able to grab as much at a time. It's going to limit the supply even further. In fact, we're going to have some deflation in the supply. In fact, last week was our first deflationary week as and this is verifiable on you can go to Glassnode on this to double check me, but last week was the very first time we had a full week of deflationary issuance on the Ethereum chain. And so that means we've burned more than we created for an entire week. Let that sink in for a second. The ETH supply actually decreased over that week instead of increased, which is for the first time ever in 1 week. We've had some days where it was deflationary, multiple days here and there, but last week was the first time ever that we had a full week of the ETH, total ETH in circulation went down. So pretty cool there. Let's go to ultrasound.money just to check out where our gas prices are and these sorts of things. So I do think our gas is, it continues to go up, guys. I think that's bullish. I think it's bullish long term for Ethereum. If people wanted to use the chain less, these numbers would go down. If our traffic on the chain went down, we'd see gas go down as well. It's because it's so used, guys, that we have the this high gas prices. In fact, if you look at the gas prices on Solana and in layer 2s for Ethereum, Matic and Arbitrum and Optimism, even the Axie Infinity, the Ronin chain, everything has cheap transactions right now because there's just less going on. And so although Ronin had so many transactions last year, so they are an exception, but they're not charging for their transactions yet either. So want to look at the last 7 days and the burn rate issuance offset was 0.83 times. So that's less than 1, and that's why we are seeing a total loss in or a deflation in the ETH supply. And guys, I am so excited for this to happen long term. So OpenSea is still the top, by far the top of the burn mechanism as far as burning ETH. And we have Uniswap, we have ETH transfers, Tether, and OpenSea again. The registry is different than the actual sales. And then Strongblock is crushing it. Strongblock has been one of those startup DeFi projects that really have blown away people's expectations in 2021 and continue to do so in 2022. Uniswap is again on here. MetaMask is making quite a bit of money, let alone burning a lot of ETH in being a new transfer mechanism and also a DEX. In fact, a lot of people don't know that MetaMask actually has a built-in DEX. So check that out, guys. If you don't want to take your money from MetaMask and go into Uniswap, actually MetaMask checks Uniswap. It checks other decentralized exchanges when it does its swap. So check that out when the next time you need to exchange something. I've exchanged Ethereum for AXS to get it into the Ronin chain and inside of MetaMask. And it might not be the most cost-effective way to do things, but anything you do right now on the ETH chain is pretty expensive. So I do expect when we see the merge and then sharding after that the price of gas will likely come down, but it's just part of the network right now, and we are still using the network, obviously, guys. And so I'm seeing my price nearly hit 27.50. So I'm gonna end this video. I'm not afraid, guys. I hope you're not as well. I'm sorry to those who are in the negative in their accounts for the year, or at least from the last 12 months. I know that's really hard to look at. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, I talked about this in the intro, guys. The reason why I think that the Grayscale Ethereum Trust, which is down 18% today, 18%, and this is where I have a lot of my retirement, you know, my IRAs, my Roth, and my, you know, my traditional IRAs, guys. This is really painful because I'm actually am in the negative here for the entire year because of the drop in this, and this is directly correlated to the market itself, guys. So I think, you know, if I had left this in Ethereum and brought it over to something, you know, a self-managed crypto IRA like Choice, you know, this wouldn't be the case. I wouldn't be down nearly 20% today alone on my account because unfortunately, since this is a stock and stocks are getting pummeled right now, especially stocks that are looked at as technology or higher risk, guys, are just getting dropped through the floor, and it's because of this VUG, and because of the Nasdaq in particular. The Nasdaq is down another 2% today. Oh my goodness! If you don't know the traditional stock market, a 2% change in a single day is so surprising. You know, okay, so this is the VIX. I want to talk about the VIX real quick. The VIX is the volatility index. Seeing the VIX this high is rather concerning. I think the last time we saw the VIX this high was when the new variant was out for, you know, for, I can't say it on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. The new variant was being, you know, announced here, and people were panicking, and then we had some panic about the you know, the Evergrande business in China defaulting back in you know, in this neighborhood as well. I think maybe even in September is when it was first mentioned, and then this kind of added to this FUD here, and the new variant. Then we have a couple other spikes, but gosh, this makes me only concerned in the fact that people are panicking. The volatility index means that people are concerned about what's going on, and obviously the largest of the VIX pumps here happened in March of 2020. So we have been coming down since then, guys. The VIX has almost you know, bottomed out, almost as far down as it was pre March of 2020. But you know, we have this nice little floor here, thankfully, at the moment. And I do watch some YouTubers that say, you know, short the VIX, and you can do that. Again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but whenever it pumps like this, guys, it will come back down. So release the pressure, guys. Go enjoy the weekend, and I'm gonna put some more money into the market right now because we are below my next buy-in point at 27.50. So with that, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.